Hello, and welcome to Play the Game with Steve. In today's video of Beyond the Precon, we're going to explore Adam Warlock. We'll review his unique setup. We'll quickly review his hero kit and what makes him unique and different from all the rest. We are then going to take a look at his precon and how we can enhance that experience. And then finally, we're going to take a look at some of the hero packs that are going to truly augment his gameplay experience. All this and more on Beyond the Precon, Adam Warlock. But before we go any further, I'd like to give a big shout out to Dean from New York, who generously gifted me this really cool hero holder that I'll be using in these little videos from now on. So thank you, Dean, for that. All right, let's take a look at Adam Warlock. So Adam Warlock is a mystic. Oh, so we have our third mystic now with 3 recovery. He has a hand size of 6 and 11 hit points, a recovery of 3. He is an avatar of life. So this is a very special setup. During the deck building, your deck must include an equal amount of cards from all 4 aspects. And you cannot include more than 1 copy of any non-Adam Warlock card. So this is very, very unique. So that means we kind of saw that in Spider-Woman, a little bit in Gamora, where you can include cards from different aspects. In the Spider-Woman, it was always like 50-50. But with Adam Warlock, it's 25%. So every card that you put in, so if you put 3 aggression cards, you have to put 3 justice, 3 protection, and 3 leadership. So that's very unique for deck building and very interesting because you only have 1 copy of each card. So most of the games, you'll put 3 copies to make sure you see it more often. So this is going to be very, very interesting in the deck building. So if this is what you like, this is a hero that you might want to listen to. He also has an action that you can discard a card from your hand to remove a status card from Adam Warlock. So if you're stunned or confused, you can just pitch a card to get rid of one of those nasty effects. All right, let's take a look at what he looks like in hero form. So Adam Warlock is a guardian and a mystic as well. He has 1 thwart, 1 attack, 2 defense. He has a hand size of 5. He also has an ability called Battle Mage, which is an action. You can discard a card from your hand and limit once per phase. So the once per phase here is kind of misleading. So you can only do it during the hero phase. You cannot do that during the villain phase because it is an action, and actions can only be taken during the hero phase. So it's a little misleading here because it would have been very good if you could have done it in both phases. Unfortunately, you cannot. All right, so now, so once you discard a card, if you discard an aggression card, you can deal 2 damage to an enemy. Justice, you can remove 2 threat from a scheme. Protection, you heal a damage from an ally. And leadership, you give a hero, not necessarily your hero. You can give any hero +1 to all their stats until the end of this round. So very, very interesting here how you can build Adam Warlock, either buff him up or buff up other heroes. So that's kind of interesting how you want to explore the deck building aspects. All right, so let's take a look at his unique hero cards and how this plays out. So looking at his stats, you see that he's kind of possibility to become a little versatile. If you always have a leadership, he becomes a 2/2/3. But aside from that, you're like, okay, I think he's going to be more an event-focused character. So let's take a look at some of these unique cards. I think the first one is the ones you want to find as quickly as possible, because these will interact with Battle Mage. These are the Mystic Senses. It says, response after you resolve Adam Warlock's Battle Mage ability, you draw a card. So then you get the effect for discarding, you get a good effect, and then you get to draw a card. And then you get to draw a second card as well. So you can discard 1 to draw 2. Very, very powerful effect. So again, finding what you need, cycling through your deck. Very cool here with the Mystic Senses. So definitely that is a priority card to place down. Then we have his Warlock's Cape, which it's a cape that doesn't give the aerial trait. So interesting. This one, it says after you resolve the Battle Mage ability, exhaust the cape to ready Adam Warlock. So, okay, interesting. So now maybe we can pump up his stats a little bit and see how we want to play that. So that could be very interesting. Then we get the Karmic Staff, which looks like a big cube, it looks like I want to go play pool every time I see that card. So that is a 2-cost upgrade that generates a wild resource. Always interesting. Any type of resource generation from a character is always winner. So these are most likely your 4 priority cards, but one card kind of shines above all the rest and kind of really makes this character unique. And this is the Soul World. Soul World is a location that after your deck runs out, so after you deck out and get an encounter card for decking out, you place a soul counter here. And if you go down to Alter Ego, you can remove a soul counter and heal all damage from your identity. So if you're at 1 hit point, you basically heal for 10, which means you don't really need that recovery of 3. Once you have that Soul World in play, you can just kind of change optics. Instead of defending, just take the damage and then go down and then heal once you go through your deck. So that can be really interesting as an effect here, as a way to strategize when you are playing Adam Warlock. Then he's got a couple of upgrades that are very interesting. These are the Cosmic Wards, and this is a 1-cost upgrade that says when you reveal a treachery card, cancel its when revealed effect and discard Cosmic Ward. Now, since it is forced interrupt, you don't get to pick and choose. Now, one thing I will say, this also works when you are an Alter Ego. So if he reveals, let's say, Shadows of the Past when you're an Alter Ego and you have one of these on the table, it is a forced response. You get to get rid of it. So very interesting how you can play into those and kind of feel safe. Oh, I don't want him to advance. Well, if you have a Cosmic Ward, there you go. Now, on a side note, if you reveal a treachery that has Surge, the Surge will take effect and then give you another encounter card. So that's kind of annoying, but you still get to cancel the when revealed effect. So very interesting. And then he has a signature ally that's also very unique to him. It's called Pip the Troll. So it's a 2-cost, 1 thwart, 1 attack, and tough. So that's always interesting. So you can kind of play him and keep him on the table. Or while Pip the Troll is in your hand, he gains an interrupt. And this is the first time we've seen that a card gains an ability during the villain phase. So that's very interesting. When a player is attacked, you can spend a lightning and a mental to put Pip the Troll into play with that player. So that's very cool. So you put him into play for somebody else, and he comes in with toughness. So that's always interesting how you can kind of play off of that. So I really like that. And let's look into his events. So he's got 2 thwart events, which are the Cosmic Awareness, which is a hero action that removes 3 threat, but then you can discard 4 cards from the top of your deck, and for each aspect card reveal, you can remove an extra threat. So if you reveal all 4 aspects, well, you're basically for 2 thwarting for 7. Now, the odds of that happening aren't super good, but if you build your deck appropriately, you should be able to get at least 2 or maybe 3 out of this. So thwarting for 5 or 6 for 2, very solid. Then we have his attack cards, and he has 3 copies of this, which is the Karmic Blast, which is a 4 damage, same thing. You have to choose force, and this is the same thing with the Cosmic Awareness. You have to choose how many cards you want to discard. You can't just say I'm going to discard 1, then discard another, then discard. So you have to choose a number. So 1, 2, 3, or 4, and then you get to choose, and then you get to see. So maybe there's a minion with 5 health, and you're like, oh, I'll just discard 1 card, or I'll discard 2 cards to make sure I can hit it. So that's one of the things that you must do. So you have to decide how many cards you're going to discard to get the bonus. All right, and then for each aspect you get that +1. So 4 can go up to 8. So 2 for 8 damage. Man, that's better than a swinging web kick. But with all these cards that we're discarding, what if we lose our very good signature cards that we don't want to lose? Let's say our Mystic Senses and thing. Well, they were smart when they designed this character. They gave him Quantum Magic, which is a 1-cost action spell that you choose a card in your discard pile and add that card to your hand. So you can go and get back the cards that you've lost with the Quantum Magic. So for me, it's very interesting. So the design of this character really wants you to go through your deck fast, so to benefit from the Soul World. So you you kind of want to tank face, you want to take damage a lot, and then, and then just heal down once in a while and just recover fully. So that is his hero kit. Now let's take a look at his pre-constructed deck and how we can enhance that. As you can see, his pre-con experience is very, very colorful. We do have 8 reprints, 2 from each aspect. So we have Combat Training Uppercut, Armored Vest and Counterpunch, For Justice and Heroic Intuition, and Inspired with a Make the Call. So that's not too bad. Cards that you found from the core set. Very unique. He's got 1 extra resource from every type. So Audacity deals a damage, Preservation heals you for 1, Determination removes a threat when you spend it, and then Innovation heals an ally that you control for 1. So very interesting. All the resources do something different in hero form, and you have to spend them. So another little side note, if you discard it for the Battle Mage, you will not get the effect because you are not spending it, you are just discarding the card. The second very unique thing is they introduce cosmic entities. The In-Betweener, the Gardener, Living Tribunal, and Eternity, and they all have these actions that you shuffle into the encounter deck without looking. So obviously, you need to look to see where you're putting the cards, but then you just reshuffle. One of them deals 2 damage to the villain and remove this card from the game. The other one heals you for 2, and then you remove from the game. The other one removes 2 threat from the main scheme, and then you remove it, and then Eternity lets you draw a card and then remove it from the game. Now, what's interesting about these is if they must be revealed as encounter cards. If they get discarded as boost cards, they will be discarded to your player deck. So they're interesting in a way where I'm like, okay, it's cool. I've tried playing with them multiple times. I just can't seem to make them work. But it is cool if you get one as an encounter card, because it just makes it a very interesting turn where the villain just does nothing. You get like this cosmic entity that comes and intervenes. So it could be interesting. Again, it depends on your play style. Then we get 4 new spell cards, which is very cool because you can only play if you have the Mystic trait. So Doctor Strange and Wanda are very much looking at these cards. So Magic Attack deals it deals up to 5 damage by discarding up to 5 cards from your deck. Shield Spell prevents you from taking damage. So if you take an attack of 8, you'll discard that amount of cards from the top of your deck. Zone of Silence, you can discard up to 4 cards and then remove a threat for each card discarded. And Summoning Spell, which is one of my favorites, is you'll discard cards from the top of your deck until you discard an ally and put it into play under your control. So I really like this Summoning Spell. Then we get 4 new allies. We get Marvel Boy, who can give you piercing, Charlie, who's tough and retaliate, Quasar, that comes in and removes a threat from each scheme, and Major Victory, that when he gets defeated, you get to ready a Guardian character. So again, very interesting deck. Again, it's only 1 of each, so these cards have to have these special effects. All right, so now how do we increase or how do we enhance this experience? All right, let's take a look. All right, but before I forget, Mr. Martinex here, the only basic card. He costs 2 if you have the Guardian trait, so reduce him by 1, so 3, but since you're a Guardian, he only costs 2. 4 health with a 1/1, so he's not too shabby. All right, let's talk about some of the cards I would replace. Let's start with the aggression cards I would switch up. So the first 3 cards I would change is the In-Betweener. I do enjoy him, but he, for 3 costs to maybe potentially do 2 damage and not get an encounter card, I just haven't found a way to make them work. Marvel Boy, I just replace him with a better ally. And then finally the Uppercut, just another way to replace with something else. So I would add Tigra as the replacement for our friend, so she can just stay alive and just keep killing minions. I would add a Relentless Assault to be able to, go through minions as well. and then finally a chase them down, just to have a low cost here and more threat removal in with our aggression cards. All right, now let's take a look at the protection cards I would remove. All right, so the two protection cards that I would remove, one is the Counterpunch. He has an attack of 1, maybe 2 if I can get that combat training. So Counterpunch, definitely not a card I want to keep in there. And unfortunately, Mr. Cosmic Entity, you're another one that we're going to remove. It just doesn't make sense. So I do like control when I play with Adam Warlock. So between his two Cosmic Wards, adding Black Widow to the mix is a great idea. And adding a Get Behind Me to, again, our health is never an issue with Adam Warlock. So I think just adding that Get Behind Me so it gives you another chance to counter some of the nasty things and just use your health as a resource. All right, let's take a look what we get rid of it. Injustice. All right, another 2 cards in Justice that I would remove. The first one would be Quasar, because I do like my allies to be a little bit more doubly efficient. He does cost a little bit more, but I just think Daredevil is just more powerful than Quasar. Just the 2 and the 1 damage when he comes in consistent. And then with the innovation, we have ways of healing him up. It's just so good. Also, with our Battle Mage ability, we can just keep Daredevil on the table the entire game by discarding a protection card. So I really, really enjoy this. And again, this is one of those rare opportunities that we get to see one of these cards. But look, Living Tribunal, bye-bye, Cosmic Entity. Still not the ways. You're not doing it for me. But adding a Great Responsibility, again, another way to add threat control with Adam Warlock and using our health as a resource to control the game. So I really, really like Great Responsibility here for that reason. Now let's take a look what we would switch up for Leadership. And then yes, in Leadership as well, 2 cards that I would remove. The first one is the Make the Call. I do enjoy Make the Call, but I think it doesn't make the cut. And you guessed it. Sorry, Mr. Eternity. Sorry, these cosmic people there. Just not doing it for me. And then the 2 cards I would add it with, because we have so many allies, the Triskelion is not a bad idea to put down. Just to be able to keep 4 allies on the table at all time. It's better. 4 is better than 3, because you want to keep Tigra, you'll probably want to keep Black Widow, and then you want to keep Daredevil on the table. So, and then you can rotate Charlie and then Major Victory to be able to do more stuff. And then the Inspired on either Tigra or Daredevil. So if you need more thwarting, you put it on Daredevil, so 3 in the damage, and then Tigra finishes off the minion with the damage. So there's lots of nice combinations we can play here. And then finally, Lead from the Front. Another card that we don't see a lot of play in. Just choose a player, and then each character gets +1/+1 for the entire turn. So that's really, really solid. All right, so then, is there anything I would add in basics instead? Let's see. So yes, so this is going to be one of the rare occasions that I tell you to go over 40 cards. But Martin X, even though he's really cool, we already have a bunch of allies, and I would replace him with a Strength, a Energy, and a Genius. These double resources are going to really help you out to set up a little bit faster. If you get a Mystic Sense, then you're not discarding 2 cards, losing 3 cards. So these are just going to help you round out your overall experience with Mr. Warlock here. And then again, you'll be able to have, when the opportunity comes, just a couple of extra double resources. Sometimes can make a huge difference. All right, so that is my suggestion, recommendation. Now let's take a look at some of those hero packs that are going to enhance his play style. All right, it took me a while to figure out what hero packs would be the best for Adam Warlock. So this is going to come to some surprise, but so there's only 3 that I see, and 1 honorable mention that really, really have a huge impact on what Adam Warlock can do. And I think the first one is Ms. Marvel. This is the best hero pack that you can get. Not only do you get Endurance that heals him up by 3, and then when you Soul World for 13, it's just even better. You get Lockjaw, who plays a lot from the discard, then still is a great ally that can just keep coming back. But then it's all the aspect cards that you get. You get the morale boost if you want to boost your stats. You concussive blow if you want to stun the villain, confuse the villain. You get the energy barrier. You get the tackle if you want to stun. So it gives you a lot of control. And then melee. So all these 3-cost cards, but give you all these multiple different effects. So 3-on-2 enemies, stun the villain, confuse the villain. So all these really, really fun cards increase your health. I think Ms. Marvel is definitely the hero pack to get if you love Adam Warlock. This is the one that I highly recommend. The second one is Black Widow. She does come with a couple of cards, but the best one is the 2-card combo of Agent Coulson with rapid response. So you come in, Agent Coulson fetches you rapid response. You thwart for 2. You block. Well, you play rapid response. You then discard. You get attacked. You block with Agent Coulson. He comes back by triggering rapid response. When he comes back, bring back rapid response to your hand. There's only 2 characters in the game that can pull off this combo, which is Spider-Woman and Adam Warlock. So it's a very, very fun combo. But also counterattack, because we're losing our using our health as a resource. The villain attacks for 7 or 8. Well, these counterattacks, then it's 1 for 7, 8 damage, which is really good. More control with the spycraft and the counterintelligence. So again, a lot of fun cards here with the Black Widow, which is the second hero pack that I would recommend. And then the final hero pack, well, obviously he was going to have to show up, Doctor Strange. He does give us the Sorcerer Supreme, which is by far the only auto-include I would suggest. But he does give us 2 powerful allies, so you can kind of build Adam Warlock with a Iron Man Voltron deck. And just, use all your leadership slots for all the upgrades. Or you can just use some more control with Iron Fist. And then you have the foiled card, Injustice, that, allows you to go down and not worry too much about the villain advancing. So there you go. And then finally, the honorable mention for this one is going to be Scarlet Witch. The only card that's good with Scarlet Witch is Spiritual Meditation, which allows you to filter through your deck and just try to find the cards that you're looking for. So that's the only card I would suggest. There's also, there's a couple of other mentions, like the Drax Hero Pack that gives you all the bonus cards, like the Bring It and the Think Fast, which allows you to confuse for 1 damage. But I was like, the main value was from those 3. And I've already gone over the 20-minute limit that I try to set to myself. So guys, I really hope you enjoy playing Adam Warlock. He's a little bit complex as a character, but there's some great decks out there if you can look on Marvel CDB. Or you can just use what you have and then just figure out with these 3 hero packs there how much of a blast he can be. He is definitely a control character that you kind of build, and you can kind of just go off and deal a bunch of damage depending if you have all the right cards. So I hope this video on Adam Warlock will help you play the game. So guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye-bye.